All right, welcome back in another episode of Indiebnb. Today we are joined by Atlanta's finest Edgewood heavy. We have Geo and Gold. Boys, how we doing today?
What's happening? Doing good, doing good.
Love that. Love that. Love that. Well, we've been digging on your music for a while. My brother, he's a local music knot. I told him I got you guys on that he was hyped. He's like, yeah, I love those dudes. So you've got some fans in my family already. So, and of course, as I got to get in the music, I've become a fan as well. So looking forward to getting out to a show soon whenever we get back in Atlanta here. So with that, you guys, for the beginning of this band, are y'all both living on Edgewood Avenue and it's just intense and that's why the band's called Edgewood Heavy, or what's the story behind it there?
We both have had times in our life when we were on Edgewood Heavy. You know what I mean? It's we're not living there right now. We're actually both on the West End right now, but
I got you.
Yeah,
we spend a lot of time.
Like when we came up with the name of the band, we was like, all right, let's use some part of the city. We wanted to use a name that kind of represented Atlanta that we was familiar with. So we was going through different names and then wanted to add something kind of random with it. So that's how it kind of came together. We just kind of put names in the hat and picked it out. But, Edgewood is close to the heart, though, because I did a lot of shows on Edgewood. I frequented Edgewood a lot. So, yeah, Edgewood is one of my many homes in Georgia.
I love it. What bars you guys hitting out in Edgewood?
Man, I used to hit church all the time for sure. Yeah. There was a brewery out on Edgewood that we used to play a lot right when we got started. What was that brewery called, Gold? I have a shirt from there with an amazing dragon logo on it.
I was just looking at their post. They just closed.
Yeah.
But yeah. Our bar, though, if you ever in Atlanta and you want to hang out late night, you want to smoke a blunt at the bar and, listen to some cool Atlanta music, go to the R Bar, baby. That's one of my favorite spots.
R Bar.
I think one of the things about Edgewood that's so unique is that it's one of the few places in Atlanta where you can truly bar hop on foot. A lot of cities have that, but Atlanta, you kind of got to always get in the car. But on Edgewood, you can really get wasted and walk around.
Yeah. That is accurate. I definitely I've had a few nights, going from Noni to church to I can't remember the other one. My brother's gone to sound table. There's just all kinds of good stuff, going on.
The department store. The department store was one of the ones that I used to do a lot of shows at. It's closed up now, but that was one of the main spots.
There was some crazy nights at the department store.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, good. Well, you guys got some new music out that's been released this year. Talk to me about 500,000 miles. What I wrote down, that sounds like a song that would be amazing live. That's going to be, a little bit longer than you hear on the, on the recording side. So take me through, the creation of that one. Was that, starting, with you, Geo, or you, Gold? Who starts these things and where do they begin and end?
Well, with that particular record, 500,000 miles, that was me, and it's just a fun idea that it was. I don't know. One day I maybe said it. She got all these miles on her, but she still ride good, and it's like, oh, that's a song.
We were in the car driving down 85, 75 when we came up with the idea. There was a car broke down on the side of the road, and we were like, we should write a song about a car that'd been riding forever, but she's still kicking. And then Goldie came back then I think the next day with the hook written, and we went from there.
Yeah, man. It's just that's just one of those songs where you paint a picture. It's a visual record, and it's something that you could see in movies and commercials and all of these different platforms. One of those type of records is just fun.
Gotcha. I gotcha. Well, where the process, obviously you guys get inspired, you come back with the hook. The music side of things, what's that look like? When did y'all start with just kind of grooving on a bass? What began that, that process?
We're both guitar players, and we're both singers primarily, and we both have kind of learned to love the guitar as a mode of, helping us paint the palette that we want to write our songs on and paint our songs on, right? Um, but so majority of our songs start out with just me and him. One of us will come up with an idea or a hook. We'll put some chords behind it. We'll write, either I'll write a lead line or he'll write a lead line. A lot of times we even put down pieces of it in the studio before we even bring it to our bass player and our drummer, but that's also because our process is starting to change. We've gone through a bunch of bass players and drummers as Edgewood Heavy as a band, but we finally have locked in a really tight rhythm section, and we're about to go do a show on October 17th to do a live album over in Woodstock at the Mad Life Stage and Studios, and that's going to be the first recordings that you can find online of Edgewood Heavy with its new band, like as a full unit.
All right, October 17th, head up to Woodstock. Go over there. That's another place. It's a good little hidden pocket, a little bit far outside the city, but getting a couple of restaurants, and I've known some folks up there that have had a good time. So October 17th, definitely people need to check that out. But Mad Life, as you guys get in and you're creating some of this music, like 500,000 miles, like is it something you guys think about as far as the live set, and when you're creating, hey, like maybe we need to change that up because here's how it's going to sound live, or is it the other way where it's like, hey, we're going to play it how we play it and then we can figure it out live later?
With the we don't never think about how it's going to sound on a different platform when we create. It's just we're creating and we're going to make the best music that we can make. And when I say best, I mean what sounds the best in our ears. Simply, nothing more than that. It's not reaching for a certain audience. It's not reaching to get a certain amount of hits or streams. It's what sounds the best in our ears and what feels the best in our hearts and souls. That's where we make our music. No other reason.
I got you. Definitely. Well, I want to transition over to another song of y'all's that I listened to, and I kind of want to know the story behind it. I mean, Homicidal Lover, is that something that, was that a true story? Do we have a little background there? I mean, did one of y'all have to deal with something like that, or like what's the story there?
Man, I have found some of my best writing comes to me when I'm the most hungover. So we had just played a show over in Mississippi. We had played a whole weekend out at the spot called Frank Jones Corner in Jackson. We're actually playing there next weekend on Saturday. And it's a crazy show because you play from midnight to 4 a.m. and it's the only spot in the city that's open. And that's an hour behind us. So for Atlanta, that's a 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. set. And we'll do that 2 nights in a row when we're there. This time we're actually going to be playing at a venue called Martin's on Friday, but on Saturday we're doing that set. So we had just finished that set, and we had a guy in our band that had to be back the same night. So we finished at 5 a.m., got in the tour bus, and drove all the way back to Atlanta. And we got back in the wee hours of the morning. And I remember just like stumbling into my house, and I had this just hook playing in my head, which actually ended up being the intro and the outro. But just I know I did some shit that I should not have done. Packing up my bag while you're loading up your gun. And I mean, I should have been dead asleep, but my body could not find rest until I figured out the chord progression and how I wanted that to feel. And it's the only song Edgewood Heavy plays that uses power chords for the chords. It's like very, it's that hard rock feel. And the next time me and Goldie got together, he actually wrote the hook of the Homicidal Lover. So it's a good example of how our songwriting goes. One of us brings an idea or a concept, and then through our process, we mold it into something different. But I'm gonna go ahead and plead the fifth on the if I've experienced it in real life. I've had a target on my back once or twice. Is all I'm gonna say.
Plead the fifth. Good.
Hey, we'll take it. We'll take the fifth. And we love the I love hearing that like the process can happen at any point, no matter what's going on, no matter what state the body's in. It's you don't have to be, clear headed, a clear mind. It's whenever the creativity flows, which is awesome.
But I never knew that he wrote his best songs when he was fucked up like that. So I didn't know.
It's something to be said. Maybe we need to get him out on Edgewood Avenue more. Get some more hits cranked out.
My brain just spins too fast if I'm sober. When I'm hungover, it slows down so I can actually receive vibrations, if that makes sense.
Totally. Well, you guys have been on tour here for a little bit, and you're kind of wrapping. Are y'all wrapping up kind of the end part of this year, and then you guys are going back out next year, is what you mentioned before we started going here. So, talk to me about the touring process. You guys, have some spots you've already gotten picked out, or is that, how's the booking go for that?
Well, we've been Atlanta's hardest working band, is what we like to say, because we've been feeding ourselves, and not only that, we've never, we've paid for everything that Edgewood Heavy has done with money.
Mm-hmm.
We are road warriors in that way.
Yeah.
And so thus far, I've done almost all of our booking as far as regional touring. Gold handles a lot of the booking here in town. Gold had a lot of the connections with local gigs when we first got started as Edgewood Heavy. And I kind of took on the role of finding us the gigs out of town. So yeah, we're at the end of we did a summer tour, the electric summer tour. And now we're at the end of our fall tour, which is the 500,000 miles tour. And we got Mississippi left. We got that date up in Mad Life stage left. We got Hummingbird and Macon left. And then we're actually playing at the NACA, which is the National Association of Collegiate Activities, where we got a spot to try to earn some shows for colleges next year. So that's the end of the tour. And starting in 2025, for the first time, we are going to be working with a booking agent. We got a guy named Kevin from Pivotal Touring, and he's already lined up. We're going to be hitting all brand new cities, new states. We got one date left at the end of the year in Pennsylvania, but yeah, we're really excited to just continue growing and meeting new audiences, because our live show is our strength. We try to create a good online interactive world, and that's always hard to do, but getting people in a room and making sure they have a good time, that's what Edgewood Heavy was founded.
I love that. It sounds like we have a strong finish to the year. As a person who, this podcast was born out of Macon, Georgia, because me and my buddy who started it both went to Mercer, and he's graced the stage at the Hummingbird. So I know that crowd will be a good one for you guys, especially, if they got the PBR flowing, and they got everything going there.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Great to see that you guys are kind of expanding into the new cities. And just kind of growing the band in the the road warrior fashion. And we have a few bands that we talk to and do the same thing, where it's like, hey, you have the digital, you kind of want to, have people generating the buzz that way, but it's also just about getting out there and, getting people and getting in front of people and rocking out. That's, a awesome way to think about it. What are some of the places you guys are most excited for next year on the, with the new cities you guys are hitting?
I'm excited. I'm excited about the West Coast. We trying to get out to LA and Phoenix and Vegas and Colorado. We really trying to
definitely want to play in Austin too.
Yeah, exactly. So see what that's gonna do.
Yeah, I like that. Any like places in particular, like venues you guys are like, hey, I know that you guys have visited before, that you're like, hey, I would definitely want to come back here with my band? Or
I definitely want to hit the Viper Room when we get to LA. I definitely want to play in that. I think it's 3rd Street in Austin. It's just that huge row of bars that you can walk up and down that's always got live music door to door. We really love playing the Poorhouse up in Raleigh, North Carolina. We'll definitely be back there in 2025. And then, if you really want to talk about venues out west, I want to see us play Red Rocks. That's what I want to see.
Getting some of those specific ones. I love that. Well, obviously very, the touring part of the is probably like a grind. I mean, what I always like to ask this, for folks that, you guys have kind of locked down the bassist and the drummer for the band now, like, what do you appreciate, I guess, about each other and just each of your bandmates that what's everyone bringing to the tour? What is is Gold the snacks guy? Or Gio, are you the snacks guy? Like, what's when y'all are on the road and just grinding, like who's roles, where are we slotted in? How are we feeling?
Man, I tried to be the snacks guy, but they don't fuck with my snacks. They don't fuck with my snacks at all.
Because he had like Parmesan beef jerky. I'm like, what the fuck is that, man? Like onion flavored. It's just water. Onion flavored water. Shit that don't even make sense. That don't even go together. But anyway, you can never be the snacks guy. But we all got real strong personalities, and we all understand each other at this point, and we all care about each other. So that's the most important thing. So we all gonna do whatever we need to do to help out the ultimate goal. And we all respect each other's talents, and so we got a good thing going, man. Everything is smooth, and honestly, me and Gio, we done been a part of other situations that wasn't so harmonious, if that's the word. Yeah. You know what I mean? So being a part of it now is a good thing. Everybody's adding in, and nobody's really, nobody's being, nitpicky about stupid shit. Don't make sense. We just doing it as adults and, treating it like, all right, this is what we do. Respect each other the way you should be respected. And yeah.
It's kind of a unique thing being that we're a touring band and, we're not all 18, you know what I mean? Like it's grown men coming to the table. So what I really appreciate about that is when there's a quarrel, and there are many quarrels, when we get to fighting at a certain point, the childish shit's going to fall away, and two men are going to look at each other and they'll go, we're going to talk this out. We're going to figure this out. And we always do,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. I mean, I think but I'm sure it took a while to get to that point, and, definitely getting the right mix of people and, figuring out, hey, like, when I go there, I don't go there if I need to, or, you kind of have to have that. I like the idea of you definitely have to come to the table as an adult in that
Absolutely.
piece.
It ain't easy. It's not easy putting together a band, with grown men, and everybody got their own opinions, their own lives and everything, and trying to make it work. Even when money is involved, even when everybody's getting paid, somebody gonna have something. So we're fortunate to have the guys that we have right now.
And I'm gonna. You asked people to bring specific things to the table. I'm gonna shout out our drummer Steven. He's just a ridiculous person, but he has this levity about him. He can really bring laughter and joy to most situations. And everyone gets in their feelings, and everyone gets upset about things sometimes. But I really got to give him his credit. He lets things roll off his shoulders so fast and so effectively. And it always impresses me with him about his humility, his ability to just go, that sucks, or I don't like that they said that, but you know what? I ain't gonna let it dampen my mood. And I think it helps everybody around him maintain that same positivity.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're going for so long. I mean, you gotta have that kind of unit mentality. It's like, hey, we're in the we're like, we're getting the foxhole here. Like, it's not, we're going on tour. We're going to drive back from Mississippi at 5 a.m. and we got to do this thing. Like, let's go. We're going to make the best of it. What do you think, like, the as you guys look at, this time next year, like, what do you want to have accomplished? How many dates you guys want to, have been done? And, you guys have any goals on that front?
Where I'm at with it, we run our band a lot like a business. And we've been putting everything, blood, sweat, tears, equity, and definitely money into this project for a long time. And as we're starting to play more and more dates and, hopefully play bigger venues and start reaching more people, I really want it to become a self-sustaining ecosystem, and to just, for us to be able to stay at a nicer hotel, and for us to be able to, maybe have a driver or have a roadie one day. Like, we're picking up a lot of slack. We're driving. I'm picking up U-Haul before the guys get there. We're loading in at 7 a.m. We're getting on the road. We're hauling. We're buying gas. We're, planning out the routes, planning out where we're going to stay. It's a lot of work. And, it's all labor of love. And we're very fortunate to be able to get to do that work. But I would love for the touring to enable us to focus a little bit more on the music.
Sure.
And a little bit less on the logistics.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. And I mean, I think it's like, it's in this, as I've found for a lot of folks, like that's kind of it's like a chicken or the egg kind of thing. It's like you're either, hammered in on the, social media, music, that part of it, I mean, you take the marketing out of it, but like getting to focus on the music, what you guys love to do, I think is the main goal. And so getting to, grind it out on the tour, and which is fun, but it sounds like work. I can't imagine being able to, get with 5 people for, a 5 to 10 city tour, and, you're traveling every single day with the same people. And, I'm sure it gets to a point where it's fun, and then it's not fun really quickly, and then it's fun again. And then
the good thing about it is everyone's pretty good about, even though you're proximity wise super close together, you learn how to give people their space.
Sure.
Like, a lot of times we're sharing hotel rooms, and for the most part, when everybody's waking up in the morning, like, we're not talking. Like, we all get it. Everyone shh, and we're all going to get our coffee. We're all going to get breakfast, and in like an hour we can start joking. You know what I mean? Like, you learn people, and you learn when to give them their moment. Maybe someone's in a mood and you just give them their space, or if someone's sleeping, you give them, you don't fuck with them, you leave them alone. And it's the little bits of respect that make it amicable and make it feasible to travel a lot together. But kind of what you were saying, there's a season for everything. There's a touring season, there's a writing season, there's a recording season. Hopefully there's a rest season at some point, maybe when I die. But understanding that, being able to float freely through those seasons and not beat yourself up for being in a different season.
Yeah, for sure. Well, before we hop in, I want to make sure we can get him back for Pete Peterson's party pack, and we can end this thing.
If I know him, his phone probably died, which means he's probably plugging it in right now, which means it'll still be a few minutes before it's live. And then, yeah.
All right, we can pop it. We'll pop it through, and then if he gets back on before the end, we'll run it back with him real quick.
Cool.
So, all right, Pete Peterson's party pack of questions, 20 questions right in a row. Gio, we will get you rolling on this. Cake or pie?
Cake.
He's caking it up. All right. Salad or soup?
I would have to change my answer from the rest of my life. In the last couple of years, I'm going to have to say soup.
Soup. I love it. I love it. Sunrise or sunset? What are you seeing more of?
I see more sunsets. I value sunrises more.
I got you. Would you rather hit a home run or score a touchdown?
Touchdown.
All right. Night in or night?
Home run's only one. Simple arithmetic, my man. Come on.
Are you having more nights in or nights out these days?
I live out.
You lived out. I love it. All right. When you do go out, robot or the worm when your jam comes on?
Oh, man. I'm not getting on the ground. I'm doing the robot all day. You expect me to get my threads dirty?
I like it. He values the threads. Gotta stay clean. All right.
Man, come on. And then the shoes, I got some nice boots on. I'm going to scuff up my suede doing the worm. What am I?
No chance. I love it. Guac or queso at your favorite Tex-Mex spot?
Man, that one's hard. I really don't want to say either because I don't want either one to be mad at me the next time I eat it. But I think if we're really talking about the humanity, queso. We all love queso. Come on.
Some melted cheese. We love it. Waffles or pancakes when you guys are all kind of waking back up in the morning, the continental breakfast?
Waffle House. Every time. Got to get the waffles.
Got to get the waffles. We love it. Coffee or tea with your waffles?
Coffee.
All day. All right.
All day.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Dogging it up. All right. Ninja or a pirate? What do you identify more with?
I like ninjas, but actually, when you say identify with, I might identify with the pirate more.
Yeah, it's more. You're more similar on that. You join
Captain Jack Sparrow vibes for sure.
I love that. I love that. Gatorade or Powerade? What are you drinking more of these days? Gatorade. All right. Toast or bagels?
Bagels. They got more to say. Toast. It's played out, man.
Yeah, I hear you. Chips or pretzels?
Pretzels.
All right. All right. Fries or tots? Tots. All right. Okay. TV show or movie after a long day grinded? Movie. Putting it all on. All right. Are aliens real?
For sure. No question.
All right. What about North Georgia Bigfoot?
No, he's not out there. I mean, there's a dude out there, but he's not a Bigfoot. He's just Uncle Cletus.
Yeah. Somebody just he forgot to shave his back one day.
Yeah, Cletus he's going through it. Leave Cletus alone.
I love that. Is love at first sight real?
Lust at first sight is 100% real, and if you are good at this life, you learn how to turn lust into love.
I've never heard that. Let's go. All right. And our final question of Pete Peterson's Party Pack. Who are two bands that we ought to check out that we might not know? Maybe some of you guys have met on the road. Some of you are just grooving on now. Like, who are a couple of those bands that we ought to check out?
There's so many people that I want to shout out. That's hard. I'm gonna go the guy that pretty much most people should know by now, and that's Eddie 9-Volt. Eddie's on the blues circuit, and he is one of the best guitar players, out there right now, and he's out there repping Atlanta all across the world. So I got to show him love on that. Similarly, and then I'm going to go someone smaller that people might not know as much, and that's my boy Jacob Harshaw.
Nice.
He's a local guitar player, singer, and I could name so many, but you said two, so I'll stick to two.
All right, we got Eddie 9-Volt and then Jacob Harshman.
Harshman.
Yeah.
JHP_official is his Instagram.
All right, and go ahead and shout out y'all are at Edgewood Heavy, right?
Yeah, we're Edgewood Heavy everywhere on the internet. Heavy like the weight. EdgewoodHeavy.com, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and all of them. Yeah. Apple Music, Deezer, Grindr, Tinder, all the good ones.
We'll have all those links, minus a couple of them, in the description below. But everyone needs to go stream "Homicidal Lover" 500,000 miles. If they're coming to a city near you, follow them on Spotify. They'll be able to, it'll notify you when they're coming.
We got a new song dropping in about 2 weeks too. On the 26th, I want to say, is the Drunk EDM remix by Sporty O. So people should definitely check that out. That's going to be our first EDM release. So we'll be doing some play with that. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Love that. We'll definitely, everybody check those, check those streams out, check those places out. Looking forward to getting more info and just continuing to grind down on Edgewood and drink pretty heavily. I mean, let's get going. I love it.
I like you better when you're drunk. Come on.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you guys, jumping in here, and we'll make sure to continue listening. And when we get that Atlanta show, we'll try to pop you by. Yeah.
Hey man, I appreciate you reaching out and taking the time to do the interview with us. It's as a local musician, you love meeting people that are vibing with what you're doing. So thank you for your time.
You got it, man. Y'all take care.
Cheers.
Cheers.